started to rain. The house tried to keep out all the water, but water got inside and ruined everybody's everythings. The house thought she let the family down. They just didn't think it could happen. They told the house they would take better care of her. Always.
Protect what matters. Get flood insurance.
Welcome back to The Real Story. In the standoff between New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio and the New York Police Department, new poll shows people think some officers got it wrong. When asked if they approved or disapproved of the police turning their backs on the mayor at the funerals for two fallen officers, 69% disapproved compared to only 27% who thought it was okay. Majority of respondents also said comments by the head of a New York police union saying that the mayor had blood on his hands in the murders was, quote, too extreme. But polls also show people are not fans of Mayor de Blasio and his actions either. Joining me now, Dr. Paul Hochmeyer, marriage and family therapist, Gene Marks, CPA, small business owner, and Charles Cook, reporter for the National Review. Gentlemen, interested to see what your thoughts are on this. Charles, let me start with you. Do the police officers have it right in turning their backs, or Mayor de Blasio?
I think they have it wrong. In fact, I agree with the public on all three of those questions. Police occupy an odd space. They're not soldiers, where they are obliged to do whatever they are told without any dissent, but they're also not teachers. They can enforce the law, they have guns, they can use those guns, they can use deadly force. It's difficult and problematic, I think, when you see a divide between the civil authority, which is Mayor de Blasio. I don't like him, but he is the civil authority,
okay,
and the police force.
Yeah.
I think that's a dangerous precedent.
Well, don't you think, Charles, that there should have been like a divide anyway? Like, why are they having that whole conversation in public anyway? Don't you think it undermines the authority of the police as well?
Because a lot of people are wondering, like, who started it, you know, because de Blasio got up and spoke about his own family and personal stories. But I want you to look at this poll as well, Dr. Hochmeyer. Who's more to blame? 45% say de Blasio, 43% say the police. So, Doctor, that's pretty evenly matched there. Do you agree with that?
I agree with the fact that I think that de Blasio is to blame here. I think that he clearly went out of the boundaries of his professional role by talking about his son and warning his son against being racially profiled because of the color of his skin. So I believe that de Blasio was wrong and that he needs to make an apology to the police. You
know, it's interesting. Just yesterday, I reported on a story here on the show about an innocent police officer, 23 years old, who went to a domestic dispute in Arizona. And he's just doing what he probably does every day, and hundreds and thousands of other police officers do. Shot in cold blood. And his body cam picks it all up, and it shows you the risk that police officers take every single day.
These people are out on the streets risking their lives all the time, and they make their mistakes, and we understand that. But, you know, the buck does stop with the mayor. And, you know, all these problems that we've been seeing really kind of started with him and some of the comments that he made. He's supposed to be leading the city. If he's got issues with the police, he can take that up behind closed doors.
And I also think it's an issue, too. We need to look at how New York City police officers are trained. They're trained very much to be a part of the community, to be responsive to the community, and to be known in that community. And I think de Blasio completely missed that point and compared the New York City Police Department with much more racially profiling police departments.
Interesting take. Okay, in a big turn of events, Duke University now backing off plans to issue a weekly Muslim call to prayer from the campus's historic chapel bell tower. Complete 180. Comes as the school was flooded with calls and emails opposing the plan. Duke had originally wanted to play the Muslim call in an effort to unify the campus. Didn't quite turn out that way. Charles.
I can't say I'm outraged by it per se. I don't really like anyone in the story is my problem. I don't think that the intention here was necessary, which was to unify the campus as if Muslims on the Duke campus are in some way oppressed. By all accounts, they're not. Having said that, I think the reaction of some of the Christian protesters were a little over the top.
You agree with that, Jane?
Mentioned,
yeah, I mean, you know, my disappointment, though, is also with just the academic management. I mean, you know, we've seen this past year all these situations where college, Kathleen McCartney at Smith, you know, she got in trouble because of a statement that she made, and she had to apologize for that. You know, at Haverford College earlier in this year, there was a commencement speaker speaking to a group of students that people had issues with, a different point of view, and they got rid of the commencement speaker. They replaced him.
That happens all the time, usually in a conservative.
So here we're saying that, right, and here we are, like, okay, so, you know, they're making the decision for whatever their reason. The fact that they just turn around and do a 180-degree reversal.
Well, no doubt, a bunch of donors called up, right, Doctor?
Yeah.
And they said enough is enough, and they changed their mind. I know. Well, it can go both ways, right? Whether or not they should have done it in the first place is to be debated still. Gentlemen, thank you. Massive crash. Check this out. This happened during a legendary off-road rally through the Bolivian desert. Find out what happened after this. And some people are calling a new documentary about the validity of the Bible's Exodus a, quote, game changer. The filmmaker joins us exclusively to tell us all about his incredible findings.
The whole thing, from the beginning of the sojourn in Egypt, the slavery, Moses and the Exodus, the conquest of the Promised Land, is all there in one nice, neat